Hi, I'm Erin. Thank you so much for joining me for this 30-minute yoga class. This class is designed to prepare us for the challenging and fun arm balance called Tittibhasana, or Firefly pose. We're going to do a lot of, it's kind of like a tutorial for Firefly, but there's so much preparation that we need to do in the body to get us into the pose that this class can stand alone as a yoga class. Tittibhasana, or Firefly pose, takes a lot of core strength, it takes a lot of quadriceps strength, and we also need very open hamstrings and hips to get us into the posture. So we're just working in that direction. If you never ever get into Firefly pose ever, but you practice this class, you're gonna get so many benefits out of every single posture that leads us in that direction. So I hope you enjoy it, and we're gonna start on our backs. So come down onto the back, extend the legs long, arms down by the side. We're just gonna take 3 breaths here just to ground us down. Inhale, fill all the way up. Exhale through the mouth, let it go. Inhale through the nose. Seal the lips, exhale through the nose. And one more breath, just like that. Inhale through the nose, fill all the way up. Exhale through the nose. Complete the exhale. Draw the knees into the chest. Bring toes, heels, and knees side by side, and then work the hands around the knees. So maybe it's going to be the hands just resting on top of the knees, pulling the knees into the chest. Maybe we reach opposite hand toward opposite wrist. Maybe we reach opposite hand toward opposite elbow. We're working that tailbone flat to the floor, just getting a very deep compression in our hips, our hip flexors. So squeeze it in tight wherever your arms are, and continue to press the tailbone down toward the floor. Draw the knees into the chest. And release. Left foot to the floor. Cross the right ankle over the left knee, and we'll take supine pigeon pose. So lift the left foot off the floor, interlace the hands around the back of the thigh or around the shin. Press tailbone down, press right knee forward, draw left knee in. And release left foot to the floor. We're gonna draw that right foot to the left, stamp it on the floor. So we'll just get a twist here, extend the arms to goalpost or capital T. And press that foot firmly into the floor, and then draw that right hip and right shoulder down onto the mat. And then come back towards center. We're gonna start to extend that right leg up toward the ceiling. Interlace hands around the back of the right thigh. Start to walk them up the right calf toward the ankle or the foot. We can also extend that left leg long. Just opening up the hamstring. Take 3 circles in both directions of the ankle. Draw the forehead toward the knee. And release. Extend that right leg, plant that right foot on the floor, and then left ankle crosses over right knee. Lift the right foot off the floor, hands around the back of the right thigh or the right shin. Draw that right knee in, press the left knee open, toes active toward the knees. Shoulders and hips planted firmly on the floor. A nice stretch in the left hip. And release, right foot to the floor, twist to the right. Left foot's gonna stamp onto the floor. Draw the left shoulder and left hip to the floor, and then firmly plant the left foot on the floor. Arms at T or goalpost, look to the left. Come back towards center Extend that left leg up toward the ceiling, hands behind the back of the thigh, calf, ankle. Option to straighten out through the right leg. Take 3 circles in both directions of the ankle. Draw the forehead toward the knee. Draw the knee toward the forehead. And release. Quick hug of both knees into the chest. Take a roll on the spine and come into downward facing dog. Plant the hands, step the feet back. Draw the feet to hip distance apart. Heels disappear behind the toes as we gaze back at the toes. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Feel free to find movement here in downward facing dog. And pedal the feet. Shake the hips side to side. Draw the heels side to side. Let the head hang heavy. No tension in the neck. Exhale. Look forward toward the front of the mat. Inhale, stepper, float. Release to forward fold at the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey, find a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise high, tall mountain. Exhale, cactus the arms, draw the elbows down, lift through the chest. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold, come all the way down with a flat back. Inhale, halfway lift, monkey. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands, step back to plank pose. We're gonna do 3 rounds of sun salutation. So exhale, lower down. You can take Chaturanga right away, or you can come all the way down onto the belly and take Cobra on the inhale, or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, 1 breath. Exhale. So 2 more rounds, breath to movement. Inhale, step or float forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, tall mountain. Exhale, right back to Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, monkey, halfway lift. Exhale, step or float back, Chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. 1 breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, step or float forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, take the right leg high. Let's get right into the core right away. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Pause here. Now draw the right knee to the left elbow. Right knee back to the right elbow. And then plant the foot to the outside of the right hand. Draw the chest forward, shoulders away from the ears. And then release that left knee to the floor. Okay, so we can stay here, nice long spine, head stays in line with the spine, or we can come down onto the elbows. Just get right into those hips. Take 1 more breath wherever you are. If we're down on the forearms, come back up onto the hands. Take that right foot out to an angle. And then we're gonna roll onto the outside of the right foot. Opening through the knee, we can press that knee open with the right hand, extend through the spine, twist, maybe look back toward the back toes. And then we're gonna bend that left leg, take the foot from the outside and start to draw that left heel in. A lot happening in the body right now, opening up the hip, the glute, quadricep, the hip, flexor on the other side. All right, and release. Draw that right knee back towards center, the right foot back towards center. Lift the left knee, and then inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, open the hip, bend the leg. Inhale, straighten the leg, square the hip. Exhale, right knee to left elbow, and then step that right foot to the outside of the left hand. Draw the left heel down toward the floor. And instead of coming into fallen triangle and lifting the left hand, we're actually going to lower the hips down toward the floor. So we're just getting a little stretch here, outside of the right hip. And then press that hip back up. Lift the heel off the floor. Three-legged dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left knee, knee to nose first. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to left elbow, hold here. Left knee to right elbow, hold here. Left knee to left elbow, hold, and then place that left foot to the outside of the left hand. Start to extend long through the spine. Chest is open and lifted. Head is in line with the spine. If this feels like a big enough stretch, stay here. Place the knee on the floor or come down onto the forearms. Continue to keep the chest open though. Try to avoid rounding and hunching, but stay lifted and long. If we're on the forearms, come back up onto the hands. Take the left foot out to an angle and then start to roll onto the outer edge of the left foot. Take the left hand onto the left knee. Press the left knee open. Find a twist in the spine, maybe looking back toward the right toes. And then we can take that left foot, bend it, take it from the outside. Start to draw. I got a little cramp in my hamstring there. Start to draw the right heel in. Again, staying in this twist, staying lifted and long, head in line with the spine. Lots happening here. Getting a big stretch and gentle release. Back foot to the floor. Start to draw that left foot back towards center so we're in a low lunge. Left leg comes high. Open the hip, bend the leg. Inhale, straighten out the hips, or straighten out the leg, square off the hip. Exhale, left knee toward right elbow. I'm distracted by a giant bug on my mat. And then take that the left foot to the outside of the right hand. All right, I'm back here. Take that right heel to the floor. We're gonna start to lower the left hip down toward the floor. Big stretch here. Also a little strength building in the arms. And lift. Take that right heel back up off the floor. Left leg high, inhale. Set it down, downward facing dog, exhale. Take the right leg high. Step through low lunge. Inhale, come up to crescent lunge. We're gonna just flow right through a couple of postures here. So inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, come up to five-pointed star. And then exhale, prayer squat. So hands come to heart, sink down, and start to build some heat here in the hips. Hold. Keep drawing the knees open toward the pinky toes. Keep the shoulders stacked right over the hips. Continue to breathe. Two more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Increase the challenge, taking both heels off the floor, holding here. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, heels to the floor. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2 to the front of your mat. Pause here for 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, get low in that front knee. Just building some heat in the legs, building some heat in the hips. Last breath. Reverse warrior, inhale. Low lunge, exhale. Step back plank pose, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, or to the floor. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 1 breath. Left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Flowing through crescent lunge. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, hands to heart, sink down. Okay, so we're adding on a little bit here, just continuing to build heat and strength in the hips and the legs. So from here, we're gonna start to hinge forward at the hips, working the torso parallel to the floor and just bumping those hips back. So we're getting a little bit deeper into the inner thighs, pelvis. And then we're gonna start to extend the arms forward. Hold here. Keep those hips low, keep extending out through the fingertips. I know it's challenging. 1 more breath. This is great prep for the body though. Bring hands back to heart, bring shoulders back up over the hips. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2. Hold here, 2 more breaths. Inhale. Inhale. Let it go. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, right leg lifts. Okay, just a flow here. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge, rise up. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, standing straddle splits, heels behind the toes, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Come up to a halfway lift. As if we were doing monkey pose, so we have a flat back. Now we're gonna keep the hands right underneath the shoulders, and we're gonna start walking them back. So between the legs, but at shoulder distance apart. Okay, elbows stay in like we're doing chaturanga. Keep drawing those hands back as far as we can go, keeping the elbows in. Working the crown of the head toward the floor. Neck is loose though, head is hanging. Elbows in, elbows in. So this is work. Keep those quads engaged. Hamstrings are extending. And then walk the hands back forward. Come all the way up, halfway lift. Pause here, and then extend up into 5-pointed star. Inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, step back plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Other side, inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, standing straddle splits, Prasarita Padottanasana. Hinge at the hips, reach through the fingertips, come all the way down. All right, so this time for this variation, we're gonna heel toe the feet in about 2 times. We're gonna bend the knees, and then we're gonna wrap the arms to the insides of the backs of the knees, wrap them around the ankle. Okay, hold here. If you want, you can start extending the legs a little bit closer towards straight. And one more breath. So squeeze your shoulders with your knees, squeeze your ankles with your hands, and then release the arms. Heel toe your feet back out to 5-pointed star position. Feet are out at an angle. Inhale, rise up to 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior two to the front of your mat. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Look forward past your hands, step or float through to a seat. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of core work combined with more hip opening, so just kind of maximizing our efforts here, getting us closer to Firefly pose. Okay, so I'm gonna face you. We're gonna work toward balanced elephant first, so it's a core strengthener and a hip opener. So you can have this left leg bent to start off with, and we're gonna work that right leg up and over the right shoulder. So we're gonna get it as high as we can, over the right shoulder. Okay. And then we're gonna take the hands right in front of the hips. Start to extend that left leg long, and then we're gonna rock forward so our hips are hovering off the floor. So we pull the hips back and up, and then lift the left leg off the floor. So you should feel your core firing. We're also opening up the hip, working into an arm balance. Okay, so nice preparation for Titibhasana Firefly pose. Hold here for another breath if you can. If you can't hold it, just play with getting that hip off the floor, maybe the heel off the floor, maybe the hip off the floor, and let's release. We're gonna take the right foot to the left hip. So we're in half lotus position with our right leg, and we're gonna twist. So left hand's gonna come to that right knee, and we're gonna reach around for the right toes. If we can reach, that's great. If not, just set it on the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Unwind. And come into boat pose. So lift both feet off the floor. Lift through the chest. Legs can be bent or straight. Hold here. One more breath. We're gonna work toward balanced elephant on the other side. So you can take that right leg in to start off with if you want. If you wanna just extend it long, that's fine as well. You take that left leg, we're gonna work it up and over the left shoulder. As high as you can get it. If you can get all the way on top, you're even at more of an advantage. So get that left leg high up and over the shoulder. I'm gonna take the hands slightly in front of the hips so that you can lean forward. Right leg extends for balanced elephant. Press into the hands, lift the hips off the floor. So we're gonna pull the hips back and up. We lean slightly forward, look out past the toes, and then maybe we lift that right heel off the floor. Hold here. Squeeze your left knee into your left shoulder. And again, if you can't hold it here, just play with getting hip up, heel up, one or the other. Just one more breath. Release. Take that left foot to the right hip. Right hand to the left knee. Twist. Maybe left fingertips reach around for the left toe. Shoulders over hips. Twisting from the base of the spine. You can have that hand on the floor if you can't reach the foot. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Come back to boat pose. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Cross over the ankles. Maybe Chaturanga if you want. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. All right, take that right leg high, right knee to right elbow, and then set that right foot to the outside of the right hand. Okay, so we're continuing to build strength and heat in the hips and the legs. So we're gonna tuck the right shoulder underneath the right knee, just as we did for balanced elephant. So start to draw that right hand down, under, under, under. So the higher you can get your right knee on top of the right shoulder, the more of an advantage you have here. Okay, so if you can, place that right hand to the outside of the right foot. You're gonna start to shimmy your right foot forward and lift the right foot off the floor. Lift and extend. Hold here. If this is too much, see we're building strength in the quadricep. This movement is what we need. This awareness of the quad is what we need for Firefly pose. Again, if you can't hold it, then just play with lifting and lowering. Hold here. And release. Take that right hand back to shoulder distance apart. Step back plank. Lower Chaturanga, optional, of course. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Left leg lifts, left knee to the outside, or left knee to left elbow, and then left foot to the outside of the left hand. Okay, we're gonna keep that right knee lifted off the floor, so nice, strong, engaged core and legs. And then we're gonna walk that left shoulder underneath the left leg. Get it as high up, the knee as high up on the shoulder as possible, and then walk that left hand to the outside of the left foot. Look forward past the front of your mat, and then start to shimmy this left foot forward. Okay? We work that left foot off the floor. This side doesn't go as straight for me, so that might be the same for you. Sometimes our sides are a little uneven. Again, if you can't hold it, play with lowering, lifting, lowering and lifting. And release. Bring that left hand back to shoulder distance apart. Step back plank pose, inhale. Lower Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Look forward toward your hands. Step or float your feet to the outsides of your hands. Okay, we're gonna come into Malasana, garland pose. Sink those hips down toward the floor. Lift through the crown of the head, hands to heart. Lower the shoulders away from the ears. Nice steady gaze on the floor. If you feel really balanced, close your eyes. 2 more breaths. All right. Last little prep before we do Firefly, just build a little more heat in the hips. So keep the elbows attached to the knees, hands attached to the heart. And we're just gonna lift the hips until our torso comes parallel to the floor, and then lower. Lift and lower. 3, 2, 1, lower back to Malasana. Vinyasa if you want, place the hands on the mat. Step or float back. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Okay, so we're gonna try this twice. We're gonna do it once on each side. The first time I'm gonna talk you through Bhujabhidasana, which is shoulder pressing pose. It's a nice preparation for Firefly pose. So let's take it on the right first. So inhale, right leg high. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, prayer squat. Inhale, five-pointed star. Exhale, Prasarita. Heels behind toes, come all the way down. Okay, from here, I'm gonna start to heel toe the feet in. So they're a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. The toes are gonna be out at a slight angle. And just like we practiced earlier in class, we're gonna take the hands to shoulder distance apart. We're gonna start to walk them back. Back, back, back. This time we start to bend the knees as we walk them back. So hopefully the hands are gonna be behind the heels. Okay, so the heels of the hands are gonna be lifted off the floor as we walk them really far back. As we start to sink back and sit back, the heels of the hands will come down onto the floor. So what we're working toward is getting the backs of the legs up on top of the backs of the shoulders, just like we practiced. Come down, heels of the hands come to the earth, okay? So now we've got our little chaturanga arm shelf. The backs of the legs are sitting high up on the backs of my arms. And for Bhujabhidasana, we're gonna walk the feet in, shoulder pressing pose. Now, first thing we need to do is squeeze the knees into the backs of the arms and the shoulders. So squeeze as hard as you can, like you're crushing something between your legs. Well, you're crushing yourself between your legs. And then start to take those toes off the floor till they hover. And then eventually, ooh, see, I have to keep my focus too. Eventually, we want to cross the ankles and squeeze in the shoulders. Okay, shoulder pressing pose. Squeeze as tight as we can. Nice preparation for Firefly pose. Hold here. All right, release the cross of the ankles. Place the feet back on the floor. Rock yourself forward. Good luck with that. And come into standing forward fold and just release the wrists. Maybe shake them out. All right, simply walk your hands back to the front of your mat. Step back to downward facing dog. And we're gonna take that on the other side. We're working into Firefly this time. So left foot high, step through low lunge, big bug. Rise up crescent, warrior two, five-pointed star, and back to Prasarita Padottanasana. Hinge at the hips, flat back, release. All right, same thing is gonna happen here. We're gonna heel toe the feet in so they're just slightly wider than shoulder distance apart. Come forward on my mat so I have a little more room. Take the hands shoulder distance apart, start to walk them back, and start to bend the knees at the same time. We did a lot of prep for this pose, so slowly place the heels of the hands on the floor. Okay, get the heels walking in toward one another and start to press in. So you're squeezing your shoulders, so you're gonna lift the feet off the floor. Okay, I don't have the most beautiful or advanced Firefly, so I'm gonna talk it more than show it. But eventually what we're gonna do is release the hips a little bit closer to the floor. Use that quad strength we practiced getting the quads engaged and start to lift the legs. Extend them long. And hold it if you can. Release and push yourself forward. All right, release the wrists, roll them around, shake them out. Like I said, I don't have the most advanced Firefly pose, so take it for what it's worth, but that is the way, a great way to prep and get into it. Walk your hands back toward the front of your mat. Step back, downward facing dog. And release down onto your knees, cross over your ankles, come down onto the back. Squeeze the knees into the chest. And release the knees to the right. Gaze to the left. Supine twist. Inhale. Exhale. Come back towards center. Release the knees to the left. Gaze to the right. Inhale. Exhale. Come back towards center. Hug the knees in. And Shavasana. Extend the legs long, let the feet fall open. Let go of the breath. Continue to rest in Shavasana as long as you have time for. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Today as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. Namaste.